Hello everybody and welcome to my first color computer hardware spotlight video. Today I am looking at the white 64K Color Computer 1, also known as the Model 300B, or as some people call it, just the B model. This model was sold as the Color Computer 2 in Australia, and there are a few other PAL units labeling this as a Color Computer 2. But in North America, it was a true Color Computer 1. I wouldn't call this model a rare model, but a lot of people don't even believe this model exists and are shocked to see it pop up. Recently, on the Facebook page, there was even some inquiries about it. I'm not sure the complete history behind this unit, but my theory is that when Microware brought out OS 9, they needed a 64K machine, and Tandy wanted something special to launch OS 9, so they used this white CoCo1 as a springboard to it. Now, it didn't last very long and was replaced later by the CoCo2. I am making this video today because when I originally got this CoCo, I had put a CoCo3 keyboard on it, and I've recently sold it to a member of the CoCo community, and he requested that I put the original keyboard back in. As you can see, this is not as yellow as it appears on the film, because the lighting in my apartment plays havoc with my camera and makes it look a little bit more septone or more orange yellow than it actually is. Now, the original keyboard was quite dusty, so I wanted to take the keys out to clean them individually by hand. Now, all the CoCo keyboards, you can slide the keys straight up and pop them right off, but you have to take extreme careful precautions when doing this. Also, check to see if your Mylar ribbon cable is stiff or if it's actually quite flexible. You might want to clean the edges off with a little isopropyl alcohol too. This is what the keyboard looks like with all the keys popped off. You can see there's a lot of crud and stuff in between. Now I'm going to take a toothbrush, Windex, and a paper towel and scrub these all out. And I will come back when it's done. Here you can see it's cleaned and scrubbed, not too badly. It's not one of my best jobs, but not one of my worst. And now I can put the keys back on. Here are the keys individually cleaned and scrubbed and put back on. These CoCos actually came with what they call the F board. Now you will never see an F actually etched on the board, as the last motherboards they made had E's, so a lot of people called these the F. You can tell these boards by the Mylar cable connection. Now you just remove all the screws. There are about 6 or 7 of them, and the motherboard should just easily pop right off. Also be aware that right where there's 2 screws up here in the top corner. And right where the cartridge connector is, there's a few screws holding those together.
You see, ever since you vacated and told you the freezing would be provided for you then, I've expected this confrontation, so I came prepared.
You never want to force anything. Just make sure that by finger pressuring that you have all the screws removed. Now, once the motherboard was removed, I found this little surprise. It appears that this CoCo was probably dropped or cracked at the factory, the mounting on the for the transformer. It takes a lot of pressure to break these, so actually I'm going to have to glue that on later once we get everything ready. I spray everything down with Windex to get all the dust and cobwebs out, because there are a lot of cobwebs in here. And I wipe it just down with a paper towel. This brings out also the natural luster of the plastic. And as you can see by the date codes there, this was produced in February of of May of '83, it looks like. Once that's done, I just wipe everything up with a paper towel, scrub in the corners with a small toothbrush just to get all the dirt out of the corners. I'm not actually sure what the buyer is going to do with this, if it's actually going to be a daily use CoCo or a project. He did not say, and with this particular buyer it could go either way. So I just want to make sure that the majority of the dust and dirt is removed, as I don't like shipping stuff out that's filthy. I know I get stuff in all the time from eBay and it looks like it's been dug up from the garden. I flip the bottom over and make sure that the bottom too is all removed of dust and fingerprints and the whole works. Windex and paper towels and Mr. Magic erasers are your best friends here. For with those three ingredients, you can get pretty much all the grease and grime off these units. Now we mount everything back together, put all the screws back in. You'll also notice I put the RF shield covering back on, as it originally came over the RAM modules itself. Just attach the keyboard back, slide the Mylar connector in. You might need a little bit of pressure to do this, but it usually slides in pretty easily once it gets started. Center the keyboard up. Actually, it should be one more notch up than I show in the video, and I'll show you why. When we put the cover back on, we see that the cover has the same label number as in the bottom of the case. So they originally lined up. And just pop the cover back on. As you can see, I'm going to have to readjust the keyboard here. Put it in the right position. It's locked in. And all that's left to do is flip the unit over and put the 6 screws back in the bottom. Now Tandy nicely made all the bottom screws of these black screws. So it's very easy to identify them if you have a whole bunch of screws on your desk or your workspace. Now there are 2 different sizes. The smaller ones obviously go up front and the larger ones go in the back here. But the 2 center holes you have to fill also. There are 2 more side holes, but they are just blank. You'll notice that if you put the screws in the wrong holes, there's no threads in the absolutely wrong holes. So once you start turning them, you'll realize right away that they are the wrong, there's no threads in those holes and you don't have to put screws in them. Well, that's it for this edition of the Hardware Spotlight. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a good day.